Yeah, how I gravitated towards social work. Well, I grew up in a family. I mean, I remember I was that kid on the playground who was like telling people to say, don't say that's gay because it was homophobic. Like in
Mhm.
grade, 4, like I was that girl who was just like a little social justice warrior because that's just the way I was raised. Like my parents have always been, like they came from like extreme Catholic upbringings in Ireland. So I think when they came to Canada, they realized like even the way that they were raised was like just not humanitarian, not embracing equality, and it just they always promoted it so much. I was constantly around just like accepting people for who they were, not being homo. That was a big one. Like I think at the time when I was in elementary school, like that was such a thing to like say that's gay or like call people. I don't even want to say it. Like it just feels so unnatural to say it, but like so that was something that I've always been around, and I don't know. I think just like I care a lot about people, and sometimes I feel like it's funny. My sister and I were talking about this the other day. Like that, we have these like love laser beams in us that just like will shoot out randomly at people, and we don't know why. Like I'll have somebody like come into my work, and I'll be watching them. Like I was watching this man trying to like eat his sandwich on the patio the other day, and his napkin kept blowing away, and I was like emotionally responding to this person. Like I was like, I had so much love. I was just like, I just want to go out there and like hold your napkin down for you because like he was just so cute. He was just like some random guy I didn't know, and I just was like, you have a whole life. You're a special person, and like I hope people tell you that. Like sometimes I just feel like I respond emotionally to people in this way. And my sister was saying, yeah, she's like kind of like, well, you absorb love from the people around you, and she's like, it just shoots out of you at people, and like you have to like learn to hone it, and like so I think like just knowing that that was something very intrinsic in who I was is that I just like care about helping people feel good about who they are, and you know making people feel special because I don't know, I think it breaks my heart that there are people who never know how special they are and there's no one around them who helps them feel that way. And if I could be any part of someone's life in that way, I want to. And I think for a long time, like social work was something that I thought I wanted to do, but like, you think social work and you think like hard work and shitty pay, which is, some of the reality, but I think the stigma around social work was what kind of turned me away from it for a long time. And then I think in like my third year of university, after kind of like fucking around for a bit, like not really knowing what to do, I just decided one day, like I was talking to my mom and I was like, I don't even care about this stuff. Like, I don't care about the money. I don't care about, you know, being in a profession that is considered, valuable. I just feel it in my body that this is what I need to do. I want to learn how to hone this person that I am as an empathetic person, as a caring, loving person, and just like give back to the world with it in a way that makes a difference. And so she was like, fuck yeah, do it. Like, go in social work. So yeah, I took the prereqs and then I applied and got in this last fall. And it's honestly been amazing. It's the best I've ever done in school. I mean, growing up thinking that I was kind of like not dumb, but just like not one of those people who like excelled in school really, like I just kind of always thought I was mediocre, but like I'm just like killing it now and making really, really strong connections with professors and, you know, especially like working with Indigenous professors and Secwepemc people. And it's so amazing the opportunities that I feel like I'm already getting at a social work with stuff that matters. And especially in a time like this, in this last year, like, I mean, think about how much we saw in the ways of social issues and inequality and misogyny and racism, just like all this disgusting garbage that just like, it needs to be, I'm happy that it's being exposed, and I'm happy that I'm part of a generation that can, fight this fight and be part of a group of young people who want to see a difference. But it's taxing and it's a lot to absorb all the time. I think social work, I read a lot of depressing stuff every day, and but I'm surrounded by a lot of love and it helps me get through it. And I just feel social work the same way that playing music did. It just feels like exactly where I should be. And I think I'm seeing, which is nice because I'm like seeing the results of that in like my grades and feedback from my professors and the connections I'm making. And, it's incredibly special. And I'm yeah, that same feeling of being like, yep, this is totally where I'm supposed to be. And the work that I do and the way that I write and how much I'm learning, it's just like I wouldn't want to be doing anything else. This is what matters to me, is being part of, this healing effort for the world and for communities, especially Indigenous peoples, especially like, like recently, especially like, I mean, we've always known better information's always been there for people to find out, but I think now that it's surfacing about those 215 children, like it's just like these things keep coming up, and I'm just like, yeah, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else than in this fight, learning this stuff. So
Do you think that that's taught you anything about yourself? Your dive into social work in kind of the same way that music taught you a little bit about more how to be authentic. Do you think that social work has opened up any doors into yourself that weren't there consciously before?
yeah, absolutely. I would say that I think that was another moment that I was like, I resisted it for a while, but I was like, you can't make a career out of being an empathetic person. Like that's just, feeling. But like, yeah, I was like, fuck, you absolutely can, like that's what social work is. It's about people who care and want to see change and, want to help others who are oppressed. And I think it's made me feel like, I don't know, I just like, as I go through the program and I make more connections, I just like more and more, I'm just like, yeah, this is exactly where I should be. And one day I just like feel in my body like I embody it, like it's a body response. It's not just like, milling through classes and writing papers. It's like it's an emotional response to the stuff that I'm learning. And I think my professors are picking up on that, which is really like in a way that I've never experienced in school before. Like professors telling me things that I'm like, what? I'm not even, like they'll say things that are like huge compliments that I just was like, I'm not even like, I'm not doing this on purpose. Like it's just like who I feel like I am, and it's really coming back to me in a really positive way. So yeah, I mean, definitely, it's an identity thing. It's I feel right where I should be, and that's why, like, yes, I'm gonna be very sad to leave Victoria. I love it here, but like the opportunities I have for my practicum in the fall are huge, and I would be a fool to turn it down, especially working with the First Nations Health Association. I'm gonna learn so much valuable information, and learning how to be an ally, and yeah, for sure.
I had a conversation yesterday with a friend, Kaz Kote, and he's a rapper, and we talked a little bit more about storytelling because he's also in the film industry. But we talked a little bit about vocation, which it comes from a Latin term, and the Latin term actually means to be called by something and towards something, and it's an
Mm-hmm.
inner voice. And it sounds like you found your vocation. It's a little bit more than a profession or something that you do to survive and derive sustenance. It's more of something deep down. It's intrinsic. It's a magnet outside of yourself that pulls you towards something. So that's very cool that you found that.